Today I'm going to be sharing everything I made in 2023 and my thoughts on each of them, my failures, my wins. You're going to see it all. I'm also going to be including my accessories and knitting projects. So I made 20 different projects in 2023, which is actually a lot more than I thought. And I really enjoyed the process of kind of looking back and seeing everything I'd made and really thinking about what I enjoyed about them, what worked well, what didn't work well, and what I'm going to be doing differently in 2024. So if you're interested in that, stay to the end. I'm going to talk about what I'm going to do a little bit differently in 2024. It really helped me to go through all my projects that I'd posted for the last year on the Seamwork community and see everything I'd made there in one place. And that really gave me an opportunity to look back, look at each project, and really reflect on that project and what it meant to me. So the first project I want to share is this Taylor dress from Seamwork that I made all the way back in January, and I really love this dress. The fabric is Cobra Corsage from Lady McElroy, and it has these gorgeous flowers and snakes and bugs all over it. I mean, it is just a real statement fabric. And I think what I learned from making this was how a really beautiful, bold print can make a dress feel just extremely special. I just feel so cool and so pretty when I put this on, whether it's for a date night or a party or whatever. I just absolutely love this dress. All right, the next one I made was this Lenny dress in a rib knit. This is another Seamwork pattern, and this is just like a really simple turtleneck knit dress. I shortened it so it's a little bit more of a mini dress. And I really like the colors on this and the stripe of the rib knit. I love rib knit because it's so comfortable. I think what I learned from making this was just how important comfort is to me. Maybe I didn't learn it, maybe it was just emphasized by making this because I wear this a lot. I think it looks really, really great with tights and boots. And it's just one of those dresses that's kind of like secret pajamas. I throw it on and I feel put together, but I just feel super comfy in it. And if you're interested in learning more about sewing with rib knit, and I love rib knit because of the comfort, we have a whole video on that, so we'll link that. All right, next up is this Grace dress that I made. This is another Seamwork pattern, and I really like the fabric on this. The color, the cornflower blue, is just beautiful. It really stands out, which I don't know, I just love the color of this, and it's very textured fabric, which I also really like. I added some gathers under the bust just for an extra little detail. It makes it look a little bit more vintage, a little bit more 1930s. It's bias cut, which I also really like. I love bias cut things. I'm a child of the 90s. It's my favorite. The thing I learned from this is to really, with bias cut things in particular, to really try things on as you sew, because I did a video on making this dress and the fabric really grew as I was sewing, and I had to make some last minute changes to get it to fit. So that's something I definitely took away from this project, is with bias cut things or with any fabric that's has the potential at least to grow, make sure to try it on as you go so you can make those adjustments while you're sewing. Okay, next up I want to share a knitting project with you. So this is a beautiful lacy mohair cardigan sweater. This is the Alicia pattern from Kim Hargreaves. It's in her book Ravish, and oh my gosh, this sweater is just so pretty. It's so airy and ethereal. I love the eyelet pattern. I love the lace. What I learned from making this is I just really love texture. I love fuzzy sweaters, and you'll see I made some more fuzzy sweaters later in the year. It just makes me feel so comfy, cozy, and pretty. And because I like neutral colors a lot, it really adds a little something to the stuff I make. I also use these really beautiful buttons that my sister gave me on this sweater. They're these little clear buttons that have these little colorful splotches in them. They're just so pretty. At first I wasn't sure if I should use a colorful button on a white sweater like this, but I'm so glad I did. And I think I really learned that those little details can really make a difference in how you feel about something that you've made. And these buttons are just, they make me happy every time I look at them. All right, next up, I want to share one of my fails, one of the ones that I don't like so much. So I did a whole video on these, which are the Joss pants from Seamwork. And I ended up making them in this beige color that ended up being a little bit too close to my skin color. And I don't know, something about them just kind of reminds me of like those 70s polyester pants. I don't know what it is about them. I never wear them. And I've talked about maybe dyeing them a different color, trying to get them to be something a little bit maybe darker, something that I would actually wear. So even though the fabric is super soft, they're really comfy, I like the style, love the big pockets, these do not get a lot of wear, and I think they're a fail. On the other hand, I then made these Joss pants a little bit later in this rayon crepe with these adorable clovers all over it in black and white. And these I wear all the time. Also really comfy, also love the big pockets, but they just feel a lot more chic, almost like a maxi skirt. I especially love wearing this with a big fluffy sweater. It's just so comfy to lounge around in at home wearing these pants in a huge warm sweater. I really like these. So I think what I learned is how much of a huge difference fabric makes in the outcome and how you feel about a garment. These are almost exactly the same, but the print version is just so much more me. All right, next up is this Goldie top from Seamwork. So this is made in another rib knit, this one with little rosettes all over it. This is a very wearable piece for me. I really like knit tops, and I think that's something that I've really learned in the last year is how many knit tops I wear, especially long sleeve knit tops once the weather gets cool. This is just super wearable to me, but it has these cute little details that make it a little bit different. So it's got this ruching in the front and a little bit of a puff sleeve that makes it a little bit more feminine, a little bit more me combined with the print. So I think one of the things I learned from this is how much I appreciate a beautiful knit top with those little details that just make it a little bit different from your basic t-shirt. So that's something I want to do more of in the next year, is make some really cute and comfy knit tops. All right, next we have a really special one, which is the Aims top. This is also a Seamwork pattern, and I did a video all about this one. So with this, I really wanted to try whitework embroidery. I thought the yoke on Aims would be perfect for adding those kind of embroidered details and make it just feel really, really, really special. So I wanted to have kind of an heirloom quality to it. I made this in plain white linen, and I spent quite a lot of time embroidering. I did this design on the front, and then I did these little French knots all over and all over the back as well. And this top is just so pretty. I get happy every time I see this in my closet and every time I wear it. I really feel like with this one, it emphasized to me that when you spend a lot of time on a project, both in the planning and really thinking about it stages, you put a lot of thought, a lot of heart into it, and then really spend the time to make it special and add those special details, you just have a different feeling about it. It feels more a part of you. And that's really how I feel about this blouse. It really feels like something I can be proud of and something that just makes me happy every time I put it on. All right, next is one of my summer favorites for sure. This is a McCalls pattern. The pattern number is 5039, and this was a Laura Ashley pattern, I think either from the 90s or early 2000s. And it has that Laura Ashley look to it, super romantic and frilly and pretty. So it has this kind of gathered neckline, it has gathered cap sleeves, it's very feminine, very, very pretty, and I really love this rosebud print all over it. As you can tell, I love roses. I love rose prints. I have actually 3 different things with roses on them, maybe 4 that I've made this year. So I think what I learned from this one is just how much I really love that kind of romantic 90s look. That was sort of my theme, if you guys remember, for my spring sewing this year. And everything that I made in that theme, I think really, really feels like me. So to me, it's really helpful to kind of think about those themes and what really resonates with you. And I think Design Your Wardrobe really helped me with that, because I was able to think through what I was trying to accomplish in my sewing for that season. And just looking back on it, I can really think about what worked for me and what didn't work for me. So this is definitely a keeper. And after I made that Laura Ashley dress, I thought I'd keep with the theme, and I made another Laura Ashley dress. So this is another McCalls pattern. It's 5098, and I made this dress for my birthday over the summer. So it's got this really cool gingham that's light blue and dark blue, which I thought was a little bit unusual. It's got a knot at the front, just really cool dress. And I added these interesting details to it. So I added some flat piping with bias tape all along the neckline and all along the straps. And then I added a bias tape ruffle all along the bottom. It has a bottom panel above the hem. So I added a ruffle in between. And I really love this dress. It's just really pretty, really summery, really easy to wear and comfortable at the same time, but it has a little bit of sexiness to it. And I think that's something I also really appreciate especially in my summer clothing, is showing the right amount of skin. Just makes me feel good in the summer. Next is one of my all-time favorites for the year, which are the Chelsea jeans, which I actually made in a light blue corduroy. So these are just the best fitting pants that I have ever made, maybe that I've ever worn. They are just really comfortable, and they just fit me really, really well. They make my butt look good. I absolutely love these. I would love to make these in more colors, and I also really, really like the texture of the corduroy as opposed to using denim for these. One thing that I do wish I had done differently with these is just use a little bit heavier interfacing in the waistband. The waistband does tend to fold a little bit because I used a lightweight interfacing. So that's something I would do differently. But I really took my time getting the fit right on these, making sure the leg shape was exactly what I wanted, and that really paid off. So that's definitely a lesson that I'm going to take into the future, is to really spend that time on fitting, especially with pants, to get them exactly the way you want them. Because you spend so much time sewing a pair of pants, you might as well spend the time to get it right. So here's another sweater that I knit, which is the Coming Soon sweater. And this is a half fisherman rib, just big, bulky, wonderful sweater. Absolutely love this, super warm, nice and chunky. And I really, really adore the color. So I think from this, I learned how important color is to me. Even if you're going for kind of a basic color, like a navy like this navy just really, really stands out to me. And those little differences in shade can actually make a really, really big impact on a final garment. So that's something I learned about color from making this, and I wear this all the time. Absolutely love it. Next up is this fuzzy sweater that I'm wearing right now with these big 3/4 length puff sleeves. And this is a pattern by Knit by Siv, and it's Norwegian, so I'll probably butcher the pronunciation, but it's called Mai Puffbluse, I think. We'll put a link to it below so you can see, and I'm sorry to any Norwegians out there. It's a really cute sweater for those transitional seasons, so for spring and fall, and even a little bit into winter, I can wear it and I just feel really cute. I love the cropped length. For me, that's something that I really learned from making this. I like sweaters in a short length for everyday wear. I just think it looks good on me. I feel comfortable in it. It goes with a lot of things. You can tuck it in even if you want to. So that's something that I really appreciate about the sweater. I also really love the texture. So again, it's got that fuzzy texture, and this has little colored bits throughout it, which I really, really like. So love this yarn, love this sweater. This is definitely one of my favorite things that I've knit in recent years. All right, next up is this really simple gathered skirt that I made. This one does not have a pattern. It is just literally a few yards of fabric gathered with multiple rows of elastic and a drawstring at the waist. And we made a whole video about this, so if you want to see how to do this, you can make your own. All you need is a few yards of fabric. I really love this waist detail. That's something that, it was inspired by a pair of pajama pants that I used to have that I just really love the way the waist looked. But that's a detail that I really would like to repeat in a future garment. I think that's something that I'll use again. I haven't actually been wearing this skirt that much, and I think it's just because it's so much fabric. It is a lot of fabric, and because the fabric is a little bit thick, it's a little bit bunchy at the waist, which makes it hard to wear with sweaters, which is primarily what I'm wearing at this time of year. So we'll see if maybe in the spring I pull it out of my closet a little bit more. But I think my main lesson was just how much I really, really like this this waistline detail, and I would love to reuse it again. All right, now I'm going to share some of the accessories that I made this year. So I've got a few here. I've got, first of all, the Rey Belt Bag that I made and turned into a dog walking bag. So I made a little eyelet here so that I could put my doggy poop bags in there and take this on walks with my dog Lucy. So this one I really had fun making, and this made me want to make more bags. I definitely want to make more bags, even if they're simple pouches. I just really enjoyed the construction process of this, and I really enjoyed playing with all the notions that go with bags. So it's something I definitely want to explore more. So in addition to the Rey Belt Bag, I also made a couple of really simple tote bags. So this one matches the Rey Belt Bag. These are reversible tote bags, and if you want to know how to make a reversible tote bag, we have a video on that we can link to for you as well. But this one has a cute little pink floral interior, which, or I guess is not an interior, it's the other side. And then it has this blue floral on the outside. So it's the same as the belt bag, which also has the pink fabric on the lining. So they match. And then I also made this tote bag in warmer colors. So this has got some green and yellow, and it's got this really summery kind of orange and pink floral print on the inside. I really like these floral ditzy prints for spring and summer. I've used these a ton. So right now they mostly live in my sewing shed, and I just use them to transport stuff back and forth to the house all the time. Tote bags are just so handy. I actually made a third one of these and gave it to a friend because they make such awesome gifts as well, and they're super easy to make. So I think what I learned from these is just how much a really simple project that doesn't take much time at all can be extremely useful, and it's also really fun to have something really pretty to use on a daily basis. So I think I would like to make more kind of useful household projects like this. Next up is another absolute favorite of mine this year, which is the Dani pinafore dress from Seamwork. And this might be the garment that I wear the most out of everything that I've made. And I only made this pretty recently, but I have been wearing it a ton. I love that it's black because it goes with just about everything, and I wear a lot of black. So that's another thing that I've really learned is I really should probably make more clothing in the colors that I love to wear, even if they're pretty simple, like black, and incorporate texture more the way I did with this, because this gets so much wear and I just love layering it over different things and having totally different looking outfits. Plus it's really comfortable because it's actually a scuba knit, so it has a little bit of stretch to it. All right, next, my final knitting project of the year, which I just finished about 2 days ago, which is this sweater vest, which I never thought I would make a sweater vest, honestly, but I really love it. So this is the Novice slipover pattern from Petite Knit, and it is made in a fuzzy mohair and merino. It's combined 2 different yarns in this. So there's a baby merino and a mohair, a kid mohair. And I really love this because, again, it's super layerable. It has texture to it, all things that I love. I made this so recently, it hasn't even been blocked yet, so it's a little bit lumpy still, but I already am dying to wear it. All right, and my final make of the year, which I literally finished sewing last night and probably still has threads hanging off of it, which is my Frankie dress from Seamwork. So this is in the most gorgeous heavy red silk crepe, and it's got this beautiful tan floral print all over it. I love this dress so much. I added some really fun details to it. So I added these cuffs to it that have a bit of a ruffle to them. I added a ruffle all along the bottom hem just to give it a little bit more detail. And I love the fit of this. It has that kind of 70s meets 30s look that I really love. It's just beautiful, and I can't wait to wear this for our Seamwork holiday party this year. It feels really special. I really took my time sewing this and making sure that I was doing everything 100% to the best of my ability, and I think that alone really makes it feel like a really special project for me. So I enjoy having these kind of special things that are, whether they're for special occasions or it's just something made in a really special fabric that you really take your time with. I like having those interspersed with easier projects. So that's something that I've really learned over time. All right, so out of everything that I made this year, I think my top 3 are: number 1, my Dani dress, just because I wear it so much and it's so layerable. Number 2, my Chelsea jeans, because they fit so well. And number 3, my Frankie dress, because it feels really beautiful and special. So in looking through everything I made this year, I really feel like I learned a lot. The first thing that I noticed is that I actually made quite a bit more than I thought I had. I had a really slow start to the year with sewing, and so I really felt like I hadn't made that much this year. But then when I put it all together, it's 20 projects overall, which is, it's quite a bit. The other thing I really found is that doing the design your wardrobe process and really thinking through what I wanted to make each season really helped me to make things that I would actually wear. So there's a few duds in here, but for the most part, these are all things that I have worn throughout the year and really, really enjoyed, and I think a lot more than I have in years past. And lastly, I learned that there are certain elements that I'm really, really drawn to. So one of them I mentioned is texture, another one is the layerability, and the third one is just having really special details that really make me feel like I put a lot of heart and soul into what I'm making. So going into 2024, I really want to incorporate those things more. So incorporate projects that have a lot of texture, that have a lot of special details, and that feel like things that I can layer throughout the year in different ways. And then another kind of overarching goal of mine for 2024 is really to sew a little bit more and buy less. I feel like I bought more stuff in 2023 than I would have liked. I ended up doing a lot of shopping, especially around the holidays, and I feel like I could really cut down on how much stuff I'm buying, spend more time in my sewing room making things that I really, really care about, and I feel like that's something that I can just really lean into in the next year. And if you're interested in any of these patterns that I've shown you today, any of the Seamwork patterns, you might want to check out a Seamwork membership. When you join, you get access to our entire catalog of over 200 modern sewing patterns, from quick and easy tops to wear anywhere dresses to tailored blazers and pants. We help you to design and craft your own wardrobe. Membership also gets you access to Design Your Wardrobe, our popular course that walks you through a process for laying out a seasonal wardrobe that you can sew. Plus, membership includes our library of dozens of sew-along classes, and best of all, access to our private sewing community, including tens of thousands of members, where you can post projects, ask questions, and even find sewing friends near you. I hang out there all the time along with Haley and the rest of the team here at Seamwork, and I'd love for you to join me. YouTube subscribers get half off a Seamwork membership, making it an incredibly good deal. To sign up, just click the button on screen or the link in the description below to claim your offer. I hope you loved this video, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next one.